question?
First off, what's DBA?
ZBA,
Yeah.
the zoning board of adjustments.
Good thing.
The zoning board
Yeah.
in town,
And you're saying that a select board person not to be sitting on that?
I'm giving that as an example of a scenario where the statutes don't exclude it. There's no statute that's gonna say a member of the select board cannot serve on the ZBA, but it's one of those sort of common law scenarios where conflicts between those two positions are likely to arise, and it may not be the best idea to have that happen.
Right, the other thing is, can administrator, tax collector, and the town clerk be all the same person? Is it a conflict of interest?
Okay, so the question is, can the town administrator, tax collector, and town clerk be the same person?
Yeah.
Well, a town clerk, tax collector is a statutorily recognized combined position, so you absolutely can't have that. But then to have both the town clerk, tax collector also serve as the town administrator, I think, is that listed in there?
It is not. It is not prohibited.
Right, so
Thank you.
it would not be. It may be one of those situations where sort of common law or perhaps common sense would say that there's sort of too much overlap of responsibility, but that would be up to probably the judgment of that person or a local conflict of interest ordinance, which I'll get to.
I don't know all the logistics of this package, I'm new on this, but we have 2 years that are not closed out because they can't find $250,000. How would you handle that?
Okay, so the question is that there's a significant portion of money missing. So again, I think that's maybe a better question to sort of send to our legal inquiries department, and we can discuss that in more detail, some of the specifics, rather than just, I don't think I can answer that generally here.
Thank you.
The new business?
I do.
Okay.
My question is for Tom. The training that you went to, knowing your territory, and you made the statement that the town is missing $250,000 and we're unable to balance our books. Would you like to elaborate on that?
This sounds like a non-public
Yeah, public.
discussion.
No, it's a select board.
It's a public
This is-
hearing.
It's a select board.
Nope,
And it's
that's
a
non-
public
that's-
hearing.
That's non-public, that's a
No, it's
non-public
not.
So
conversation.
the way the rules go is uncomfortable as it
Basically,
is
it's a
for.
double standard. That's why he's got his camera up there and all this horse crap. And that's all fine and dandy. I did not say that it was. But I did say I heard my opinion. I heard this. I got a right to my opinion.
Do you want me to play the tape?
So,
The videotape, it's word for
I
word.
didn't
Joe
wanna-
Beth,
no,
Joe
no,
Beth,
no,
this
no,
is
this
way
is
out of
wrong.
order.
No.
This is
No,
way,
it's not
way
out of order.
It's
Yeah,
out
You
of
go to
order.
a public meeting and you accuse this board of missing $250,000.
No.
And it is on video. New Hampshire MA has it on
Joe Beth.
YouTube.
Joe Beth, you're
Stop
the
this.
chairperson.
I would hope that.
I would suggest you go back and
excuse
have
me,
this conversation
excuse
privately.
me,
It's okay.
actually, we could read the reasons for going into a non-public session, and if it's something personal, you could do that, something that would affect the reputation of someone, such as a
Yeah.
welfare issue.
Reputation.
Ah,
It doesn't matter about my
no,
reputation.
no, excuse me, but the select board is accepted from that. It specifically says not in the reputation of the select board.
But the smile on her face and the
Hey.
vengeance she's got.
Hold it,
I am
hold
tired
it,
of
quiet.
hearing that I feel my
Excuse me.
Okay. Well,
I would hope that anyone that goes to a meeting and represents the town would do so in a way that will show the town in a positive manner.
This isn't positive.
I asked questions to find out. I was learning. I did not come out and say they did this, they did that. I want to know the rules and how I'm trying to follow. And I'm going to tell you right now, the board is, the select board is equal right across. That's not the case. They've done a lot of things without even telling me, and I've got a list of it. And
Bring it up.
that the board is responsible for the welfare, the well-being of this town that I'm learning through all this here. And every time that I talk and bring it up, I get static like this. I'm not saying I'm right or perfect. I've got a lot to learn, and I'm gonna make mistakes. But you know what? My mistake, they're ready to hang me right now. But if they do it, it's okay. So, I mean, if you wanna fire me out, fire me out. That'd be the best blessing, cause this is a very thankless frickin' job. You know, the thing about it is being able to everything's a secret. You can't even go to the conservation, meeting and shuts it down. There's no questions to be asked.
I think.
And there is, no, you opened it up. And there is, the other committees throughout the building are supposed to, if you're gonna do anything, it's supposed to come and go through the board. It does not go through the board. If it does, it goes through maybe one or two. And am I 100% right? I'm gonna lay it on, I don't know, cause I'm still trying to learn. You need to hang me? Hang me. I don't care. I'm doing what's right, and before the people, and first off before God. And I'm not a perfect man. I'm just trying to do what's right. And
So I
you know,
think,
and the thing about it is that 200,000. Maybe I did out of nervousness. Maybe I did say something. I don't know, but it's just my opinion. But when everything's a secret and you know, and they don't want to talk about it, they ain't gonna tell you nothing. You want the truth? You don't. They never want to talk about it.
so
And
how
when
would-
I talk to somebody else, oh, I don't like you anymore because you're talking to those people. You know, we're
So,
trying to pull
okay,
the,
okay,
no,
I'm going to
you
bring-
brought it up, we're trying to pull the town together. You opened it, you got it. If you wanna, call the state and fire me out of here. You're not gonna pull this crap with me. I am a man that makes mistakes, and I'll make it again. And the work that we are supposed to do is dumped over there at Jeanette, and a lot of it I feel is again, I'm gonna put it in my opinion, because I have to get the RSA's on it, but being an administrator and a tax collector is a conflict of interest that I learned.
No,
It
it's
is not.
It is
Well-
not. They are not.
Start proving it then, and start bringing
I
stuff
gave
up.
it to you.
Yeah.
Here.
I'm going,
And-
but
And for years, we had somebody who was the administrative assistant, tax clerk, and town clerk with Jesse Wentworth. And in that book, it's not an incompatible
well,
duties.
what I'm finding out, it is.
No, it's
And,
not.
and-
I already sent you the RSA information that said it was not.
I'm always hearing this, where there is an RSA, there's one that supersedes it.
Okay, well,
There
in
ain't
the
no such
March
a thing.
meeting, actually in the first meeting in April, when I brought in Nancy Crosby and asked her, for approval from the select board to be my deputy, you threw it out there. And then you told me that you would send me the RSA. It is July 24th, I'm still waiting. But I responded to you like I said
And I-
with the information that said it was not a conflict of interest with the state or legal. I sent you proof it is not, but you still continue to sit here and beat that dead horse. In that same reporting,
What?
you asked them, and his response was, no, it is not on here as a conflict of interest. Now, you may think so, or the person who's doing the job may think so because of the workload, but it is not a conflict of interest. And you even responded and said, thank you.
Why would
Okay, I wanna
why
move-
would
I
legal
want-
down there tell me otherwise then?
I want proof that they said it,
Okay, I'll get it.
because that's not what they said in that training.
Okay,
Can I just, as supervisor of the checklist for 3 terms, I'm required to know and understand the RSAs in regards to conflicts with positions, whether they're elected or not. Those 3 positions are not in conflict with each other by one person doing them. 2 of them are elected, they're separate positions, they're not conjoined, and so therefore they're not in conflict. There are RSA's specific to that. I don't have the book with me, but if you need it, I'll come forward with the book to show you exactly where it's written.
Be happy to see it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will come in and bring you the book with those RSA's. I just needed to speak up since I've had to know this every time there's an election.
Throw in this.
And I wanna just
No, you're
say,
good.
I wanna move forward. We have all taken the Knowing the Territory class. My book has tons of more stickies than yours. I've used it so much. And I've also used the RSA's. We have worked hard to develop the knowledge that you're trying to develop. If you're accusing us of not sharing information with you, I really want specifics.
Okay.
So that we can, because I don't want this general accusation. In terms of, $250,000, we have completed our audit for 2022.
All 3 years.
And, all the past years are,
Yeah.
yes. We have tied out all of our books. DRA, the Department of Revenue Administration, reviews all of our reports. That's why our financials are in a particular order, because we have to report to DRA in certain categories. And we have to match their reportings in their portal. We can't set our tax rate until everything is tied out. We have no missing money.
That'd be great if that's the case.
That is the case.
Okay.
How else do we prove it? You've got the, I'm asking how else we prove it to Tom, he's got the audit.
Well, if we had the 250,000, we could use it on the building.
So as a member of the town, who I pay my taxes, we all pay our taxes, and I had heard just through the grapevine that there's $250,000 missing. But then we also voted to hire a certified public accountant, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
to do our audit. And the certified public accountant did this audit and says everything is clear. Correct. I just want to understand that as a taxpayer to make sure that the money that I'm putting in has not disappeared. And you're saying if the certified public accountant has audited it and says it's there, then I find it odd, sorry, that a select board member would say otherwise. But you're not a certified public accountant, so I'm going to take the CPA's
And I'll be the first one to apologize if it was supposed to be my opinion, and I probably didn't say it that way. I probably said it in the wrong way. I'm going on hearsay, and when you come to the meetings and they don't give you answers.
You never asked me.
I know I didn't. I'm just, when I was sitting back there watching and listening.
But you had a certified public accountant.
Yeah,
All right,
I don't
okay.
know. I could be wrong.
Do we have-
I
do we have
apologize
any-
if I was.
Let's move on. Do we have any other new business?
I do. I do have some additional new business. After seeing the video that came out last week regarding the training and some things that were said, some things that have been done since the last meeting, I reached out to Primex and asked how I go about some situations that I see going on. I was directed by Primex to look at our policies, and that if I saw that we were going against policies as a board or an individual on the board, that I needed to follow our policy. I have 5 days to report a violation of this document. This is the document that's been in place since 2019 regarding rules of procedure for the select board. There are 7 items on here that I want to bring out to your attention because I'm finding that they're happening and they should not be. And I'm concerned because I'm an employee of this town, I am a part of this select board, I'm an elected official in this town, and I'm a resident of this town. And I wouldn't be here if I didn't care. Because it's certainly not for the pay, just so that you know. But yeah. So the first one would be recognizing the administrative chain of command and refusing to act on complaints as an individual outside of the administration. Treating all staff as professionals with respect and ability, and respect the abilities and integrity of each individual. To be told that I'm functioning in a conflict of interest, that I believe I run this town, And how do we address that aside from telling me to shut up? Being told, someone saying that in a public forum, when people know what town you're from, it doesn't take much to figure out who he's talking about. And I am severely offended. Tom, you and I had our differences in the beginning, and we talked about it privately, like I thought we should have. And I would have never brought something up in public until you did. And it's not a tit for tat, but you're not following the guidelines that you're supposed to be following as an elected select board member and one of my bosses. And I'm offended. And I feel the need to tell you that, because it tells me right here I have 5 days to do it. The next one, never as individuals publicly criticize an employee. Concerns of employee performance should be handled at the board level, usually in non-public session, pursuant to our employee.
Employee,
He's not an
not
employee of
elected
the
select
town.
board.
And you were jumping on the bandwagon like Carol. Carol, be more professional. Quit the smarks, the glee.
You know what, Pam? I have the floor. Let me finish.
Okay.
Thank you. Recognizing that no matter their actions, recognize that no member may be recognize that no member by their actions alone can bind the board or the town. And just like you hear in the background,
I didn't understand what you just said.
it's basically saying that you are not supposed to act alone as part of the board.
That's right.
But you did. And tonight, you even admitted that you did.
How'd
When
I
you
act?
said that, when you said that you sent a letter to legal without the
No, I
approval of the chair.
asked for the past 5 years of,
From legal.
yes, so
From
I
our
could,
attorney.
right, what's wrong with that? I'm on the board. I'm not asking
There's
for
an
advice.
ordinance. There's a policy. No member, including the chair, shall conduct any town business outside of a regularly scheduled meeting without the prior knowledge and approval of the board at a meeting. You called DES, and that leads into communicating the position of the town or board to other entities such as state or federal officials, unless the full board has previously agreed on both the position and the language of the statement. And the last one I have is treating with respect the rights of all members of the board despite the difference of opinion. All 7 of these things, like, I could give specific instances if I had to. And I am bringing this forward because I am required to do so based on this policy that's been in place since 2019. Today is day 5.
Folks, if I didn't call DES, and the EPA, in my opinion, and I got it written down what he said from Tom Livingston, that the town would have been fined very heavily. I called just to find out, about asbestos, cause it's a safety thing.
So I think.
And they already outvoted me. I said, no, we shouldn't do this right now. They outvoted me, so I mean, I'm just gonna find out what the rules are. And this is what I found out, so.
And so I think we can all work better together. I think one thing is, I know when we talked about having an estimate for asbestos abatement, you talked about being here for the walkthrough. And that would have been really good if you had been here so that you could have raised these questions early on.
I didn't know these questions. I wanted
you could raise issues and
I
things.
wanted the air analysis, you guys said no.
An air analysis is not required to do asbestos abatement if there is air,
But you
if
know
there
what
is
was going on,
asbestos
though.
fibers in the
But
air.
you work
Okay,
construction and you
what
know
I'm
more than
asking
anybody
is
else.
if you want to be involved, I mean, we talked about it, then we waited for another meeting. It would have been better to have these things brought up early on, or talked about as a board about contacting other people.
And we did postpone
okay, I'm
those.
going to, I think we should all pay attention to that document. And it was crafted back in 2019. After we had taken knowing the territory training, it was quite frankly plagiarized from other towns. It wasn't created from scratch, and it was to try to have civility on the board. So I think it behooves all of us to read it and try to adhere to it. I know that you didn't want to make changes, but right now, it's
So
the
where-
document that's
where-
in place.
May I ask, where is the town, policy from before 2019?
There was not one, which is why we created one.
I understand that.
Okay,
Well,
This-
I'm about transparency, so, like I said, fire me.
and we are all trying to be transparent. Do we have any other new business?